Change of scenery is always good. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I am going to take the book genre tag. I have already taken the genre book tag in which I was tagged by what Victoria read, but today I'm going to change it up a little bit and talk about one specific genre rather than talking about books from specific genres that I had really enjoyed. This book tag was created by Violet and the Never-Ending TBR, and here you're talking about one specific book genre and fitting in books in that genre to answer all of the questions, rather than going through all of the genres that you enjoy. No prizes for guessing what the genre is, but today I'm going to be talking all about romance books. So, question 1, what is one of your favourite standalone books in the genre? And that is The Flat Chair by Beth O'Leary. The Flat Chair is Beth O'Leary's debut, and I think it came out in maybe 2019. Before it came out, I actually had a review copy of the book, and I went into it very low expectations. I'd heard a few people who had enjoyed it, but I didn't really know what the story was, what to expect. I absolutely adored it. It's such a wonderful story about Tiffy and Leon, and not just them kind of getting to know each other through the medium of sticky notes left on the kitchen counter, but also it goes into a lot of deeper and more meaningful themes, such as an abusive relationship, an abusive and stalkering ex-boyfriend, false imprisonment, working hours, what it's like working as a member of the health service. If you're not familiar with The Flat Chair, it follows Tiffy and Leon, who share a house and who share one bed together, but don't actually see each other very often. Tiffy works your kind of standard 9-to-5 job as a marketing and publishing executive, and Leon is a carer. He works in a children's hospice or just a general hospice, and he works pretty much from 5 p.m. to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. So their paths never really cross, but they do kind of get to know each other through leaving sticky notes around the house, and Tiffy likes to bake and kind of leave little samples around for Leon to enjoy. Question 2 is, what is one of your favourite series? And this will surprise absolutely nobody, but my favourite series in the romance genre is the I Heart series by Lindsay Kelk. This one spoke to me so much because I had been going through things that Angela had been going through at the start of the book. We had both left our home countries to go and seek out a new life elsewhere. We had both found employment elsewhere, new social groups, and our lives had kind of improved from having been away. I loved following Angela and her best friend Jenny and kind of what her career had been going through, because I am also working in the media. So seeing Angela starting from writing a freelance blog to running her own empire and her own magazine was something that was so aspirational for me that I just loved following that journey for her. The next question is, what is a trope that you really enjoy in this genre? And I am an absolute sucker for There Was Only One Bed. Absolutely hook it up to my veins. I didn't know how much I had enjoyed this, and I didn't know how much I loved this until I read American Royals by Catherine McGee, and that does turn up maybe 60 to 75% of the way through the book. And I was just kind of ploughing along with the book, and I was really enjoying it, but I think that kind of forced proximity, there was only one bed and we have to share it. And then I discovered other books in which that was done really well, such as The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, and I absolutely ate it up. The next question is the opposite of that. What is a trope in this genre that you don't enjoy? And that is enemies to lovers. It's something that I cannot wrap my head around. I can't understand why you would start off the book as absolutely hating somebody, and I mean properly hating them, not wanting anything to do with them, nothing to do with this person. And then by the end of this book, you can't imagine your life without them, and you're starting a romantic relationship with somebody who you had such visceral hatred for at the beginning of the book. It's not something that I enjoy reading, and it's not something that I would enjoy in my own personal life. So taking that into a book probably takes it out for me. Question 5 is, what is a disappointing book from the genre? For me, it was If I Never Met You by Vari McFarlane. I've loved other books by Vari McFarlane that I've read. I've actually just read her most recent one just last night, and I really enjoyed that one. But her second to most recent one was If I Never Met You, and that really did not hit the mark for me at all. There were a couple of things that I didn't really enjoy about it, But I think the first one was that it was a character of color who was written by a white author, which is something that I always feel is a little bit dangerous to do. And I don't think when you're trying to write about the struggles that people of color go through, it's very difficult to write about them when you're coming from such a place of privilege of being a white person. As well as that, I thought that the romance in it was much too slow burn for me. It didn't really start until about 80% into the book, and for me that was way too late to me to get on board with it. I feel like this whole book had something that was missing for me to really enjoy it. Question 6 is a book that's on your TBR that you have been waiting to get to for quite some time. I'm going to go with The Bromance Book Club by Lyssa Kay Adams. I was sent a copy of this for Christmas last year by Justine from I Should Read That, and she told me that not only did she enjoy it, but also that her husband really loved it. And I feel like when you're a guy, maybe who doesn't read romance quite a lot, who might have other enjoyments when it comes to books, and you're saying that it's a great book, that is definitely something that I need to take into account. I know as well that there are maybe 3 or 4 other books in the series that if I really enjoy the Bromance Book Club, I can get into those as well. And I don't think that they're necessarily completely connected to each other, more so that there are side characters from book A who appear in book B as the main character, which is something that I really love. More than just a series where you follow one person and it's all very linear, I also really enjoy series where you follow side characters in the book and then discover what their lives are really like. Question 7 is, what is an intimidating book or series? I'm going to get so much hate for this, but the Brown Sisters series really intimidates me, mainly because of how much everybody loves it. Everyone that I know who has read it has absolutely adored the Brown Sister trilogy. I've read the first one. I have copies of all 3 on my Kindle and on physical. I'm just a little bit apprehensive about going into it, not loving it as much as everybody does, and being cast aside by everybody, which I know is so stupid and I need to just get the hell over it, but it's there. Convince me. Tell me to read it. Why should I read the Brown series? Tell me in the comments below right now. Question 8, what is a book genre that you want to read more of? I'm going to stay within the romance genre, and I'm going to go for kind of like a subgenre, subcategory, which is historical romance fiction. I have read quite a lot of historical fiction. I think we're going to count a lot of Taylor Jenkins Reid's book in the historical fiction category. I've read and loved Daisy Jones and the Six, and I've read and loved The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. But I wouldn't necessarily say that any of those are a straight up romance book. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're a straight up historical romance book. And I feel like that's a genre that is waiting for me to discover it, and I know that there are so many people who really enjoy it. I just haven't found the book that's kind of calling me to the genre, if you get what I mean. I know that a lot of people are in love with Bridgerton, especially after the adaptation came out around Christmas, and I have watched, I think, an episode and a half of that so far, but I haven't really delved into the story of it yet. I don't know if it's a good idea to put the series on pause, read some of the books, and then come back. But I know as well that if Bridgerton isn't doing it for me, that there are so many other historical romance authors out there that are doing fantastic work, such as Tessa Dare and Juliette Marillier, who is Irish, and I did not think she was Irish. But there's so much that I can discover in the genre. It's just a question of why haven't you done it yet? Question 9 is, what is a book genre that intimidates you the most? And again, I am going to say historical fiction for the reasons that I have said before. That I've read so much historical fiction, I've read quite a lot of books that have a historical vibe to them, but I feel like if I'm going to mix my favourite genre of books with one that I have read quite a lot and read and enjoyed quite a lot, I don't know if that's going to tip the scales in either way towards one of them when I'm not necessarily looking for it to do that for me. The final question is to tag some booktubers, and I'm going to tag some booktubers that I know are also really big in the contemporary romance fan club, and that is India from What India Read and Rachel from Rachel Carris. I would absolutely love to see their takes on this tag, and if you would also love to see what they are doing, don't forget to go and check out their channels below. Those were my answers to the book genre tag, all about the romance genre. Have I given you any inspiration into a book that you want to pick up, or do you have something that you would like to recommend to me? Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.